Huntington's disease, commonly referred to as HD, is a genetic disorder that affects 1 in every 1,000 individuals in North America. Symptoms of HD start becoming evident between the ages of 30 to 40 in gene carriers. However, in rare cases of Huntington's, symptoms will commence at an earlier age, otherwise known as juvenile HD. 6% of all cases are juvenile HD. This inherited disease is autosomal dominant, meaning only one parent needs to be affected for the offspring to be at risk. From this Punnett square, we see that the child has a 50% chance of obtaining the disease from the affected father. DNA is made up of 4 basic components: adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. HD is caused by a chromosomal mutation that takes place near the top of chromosome number 4. The mutation is caused by duplication of the genetic structure in the Huntington protein, in which the codon CAG repeats more than normal. In those who are not affected by Huntington's, CAG, which codes for the amino acid glutamine, repeats 10 to 35 times. On the other hand, in those who are affected by HD, glutamine is repeated 36 to 120 times, or in some cases, even more. Huntington's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder, which is the progressive death of neurons in the brain, but more specifically, the area of the brain called the basal ganglia. The basal ganglia is responsible for controlling the starting and stopping of actions, as well as organizing thoughts and regulating emotions. Although scientists don't know exactly what causes the neurons to die, there are some pending theories. Scientists believe that as the disease progresses, the long and sticky glutamine tails will begin to attach to one another, as well as other proteins with similar glutamine tails. These glutamine clumps will begin to form plaques, which are toxic. These plaques will eventually make their way to the nucleus of the neurons, causing it to die. Symptoms of HD can be classified into 3 categories: movement, like trembling; thinking, such as the inability to organize thoughts; and mood, like depression. The most common symptom associated with Huntington's disease is chorea. This is when the patient experiences uncontrollable body movements as well as trouble speaking. On average, an individual suffering from HD will die within 10 to 20 years after being diagnosed. They do not die of the disease itself, rather of the disabilities the symptoms bring. People at risk of Huntington's disease can take a genetic test to know if they carry the mutant form of the Huntington gene. The disease itself must be diagnosed by a neurologist. A diagnosis of Huntington's disease is based primarily on answers to questions, a general physical exam, and a review of family medical history. Although there are many advances for early detection, many choose not to be tested because there is no way of stopping the progression of HD. Currently, there is no known cure for HD. The only treatments available are designed to suppress and control physical and psychiatric symptoms. Recently, scientists have made the groundbreaking discovery of tetrabenazine, a drug proven to reduce chorea. Many patients also find comfort in support groups. The most important thing is to never lose hope.
My name is Joy Levesque, and I'm a social worker with the Huntington Society, and I've been a social worker with the Society for approximately 23 years. The problem with Huntington's is people think that the person is drunk. They're not aware that the person has Huntington's disease, and a lot of my people that I know that have Huntington's, some of them withdraw from going out into the community because they do not want to be perceived as having, as being drunk. So I want you to think of someone with Huntington's as their brain like a map, okay? So they'll get in their car, they'll go on the 401 and they'll head to Toronto. If they're in the mid process of the disease or the late process, the way their brain will think is, okay, you want to go to Toronto, they go up one highway and it's a dead end. They go back to another highway and it's another dead end. So they go through a bunch of highways and it's all dead ends. before they finally find the right highway. So that's a frustrating part for someone with Huntington's, and it's a frustrating part for someone who's a caregiver. There was a young lady in Windsor. She had 3 daughters. She died, the mother herself, at 36 years of age with Huntington's. Her youngest daughter is the one who got it initially. And when I first met her, she was about 21 or so. Very pretty, attractive girl, active in sports and academics. She died by the time she was 31. So she probably was showing signs of Huntington's probably in her teens, but not really diagnosed, because I'm sure they were mild. When I met her at 21, she had mild signs, and I could see that, you know, I think this girl has it. She was dead by 31. Her movement was so active. She was in a long-term care facility. She didn't die of Huntington's. She got a cold, and she aspirated on her secretions. Her older sister, the oldest one, died at 40 years of age. Now, she was showing mild signs, but wasn't diagnosed until later, so she died. Her third sister has never been tested for it, but doesn't look like she has it, because she's into her 40s now. And if history repeats itself, and you can't really say it's going to or not, but the mother got it very young, the 2 other sisters got it very young, and the one sister still doesn't have it. So your answer to your question, I just find it very heartbreaking, because they're very nice people who come down with this very devastating illness.
There's almost no hope for the people who have it.
No, it's basically a death sentence. You know, you're gonna die from that disease, and it's not a nice way to go.